So it's a one bedroom. It's about 53 square meters. As you go into the bathroom, you'll see there's one bath, one toilet. Needs a bit of work on the flooring. Basically the passage in the bathroom needs some new tiles. But once we had an actual look at it, then we thought, no, there's some cracks. There's a lot of renovations needed here.
The rent is 4,200. Our expenses are 3,268. We made a profit of 931 rand.
I educate people to reach financial freedom through property through cash flow positive investments, specializing in the low income multi-let residential market.
Welcome back to another case study. Today we have these two incredibly good looking people, Carly and Darren, who are going to be sharing their first ever deal in property investing. So on the left, we have Carly, who is in public relations. And then on the right, we have James Bond, also known as Darren Rogers. And he is an architect, both living in Cape Town, but investing in Johannesburg. And yes, it is possible to invest remotely when you have the right system and team in place. It is possible. And the reason why Carly and Darren joined my program is because they wanted to achieve some goals, to invest in property, to retire early through a passive income stream, and to build generational wealth to improve the lives of their future kids. So let's get to know Carly and Darren. Maybe starting with you, Carly, why do you like property?
I like property because, look, it's always something we wanted to get involved in. For me, I believe property is there for life. It's a great way to get into the market, to actually rent, accumulate money back, and actually just build really good assets for your future kids and family members. And I just think it's a great strategy to also build generational wealth, get into the market, and actually just leave your 9 to 5. So, I mean, that's the reasons why I like property. I think it's there as a great investment.
What strategy have you chosen, and why have you chosen that strategy?
Based on all your learnings that everything you've taught us, we chose buy to let because we want to buy in a low income area, and then we want to obviously renovate, make it look great, and then push up our rent and actually get good quality tenants in there, to be able to get a good cash flow response back. So we've chosen to start with the buy to let strategy for now. But in future, after buying, maybe later on, after buying 2 to 3, we want to move on to bigger and better, such as multi-lets and so forth. So the buy to let has been working quite well for us now with the first one.
You've chosen a specific area being Boksburg, which is Johannesburg East. Is there a specific reason why you chose that area?
I mean, when we looked at Boksburg, when we looked at areas like Bidia, Boksburg, those were all the purchase price was attracting us more. I mean, you would get a property for 200,000, and we can negotiate for a discount, and that's why we chose that area, because the numbers made sense. We could earn cash flow from day one, so that's why we started in those areas. Even though it is a bit of a risky market, it is quite great for cash flow for us. So, I mean, we can see our money from day one.
In comparison to Cape Town, the Johannesburg South market is quite lucrative. It's much better than Cape Town. But then just diving into Johannesburg South, Boksburg for us was a much safer area as well in comparison to other areas within Johannesburg.
It was a mixture of Boksburg having good price points, as well as the risk profile being within your appetite, like not as risky as Hillbrow and Joburg CBD, but a little bit of a lower risk profile.
That's true. And just to add on, like, there was a sense of family orientated. So you get a lot of families in there. It also made us feel a sense of comfort that there is quite a bit of families in there.
So Carly and Darren didn't just do one purchase, they did two, because they are ambitious machines. They bought a new build in Cape Town, a 2-bed, 1-bath, which is on the left, and a cash flow single let in Joburg, 1-bed, 1-bath, which is on the right. So starting with the Cape Town new build, Darren and Carly, what was the intention behind this purchase?
It was to find a starter for a home for both myself and Darren. So, I mean, we're still basically living with our parents, first time into the market, and we wanted to secure something that would just start us off. So we thought, an apartment is much better than a house. Since we want to build our profile in property, especially in Johannesburg, we figured, okay, let's start off with a small apartment in Cape Town for us, and then we'll just grow from there. Grow mainly our portfolio in Johannesburg, but just live in a small apartment in Cape Town. So the Camden is a new development. It's not necessarily a cash flow positive one, but it's something that we want to create for our home. So since it's new build, it's based in Witten. It's basically a lovely 53 square meter apartment.
So this one had
Yeah.
a bit more of an emotional flavor, where the other one had a bit more of a logical, mathematical flavor. Because here you could like kind of choose your finishings, you weren't negotiating
Yeah,
price, you were looking at lifestyle, and your other purchase was
exactly.
discount, ROI, cash flow, and return.
Yes, we obviously want to live in a nice modern apartment, and this is what we chose. And we just had fun with it, especially like the decorations, obviously with your home.
And I mean, you guys were going to plan to move out anyway, so you were going to pay rent somewhere else. Now at least you're paying your own bond off. And in 2, 3, 4 years' time, when you guys want to expand your lifestyle and maybe have kids or get a bigger space or whatever, you can then just rent this out. And at that stage, the rent might have escalated to a point where it can cover the expenses, and you've just got another asset on your balance sheet. Why did you guys decide to spend a lot of money and join my program?
Yeah, why did we join your program is because, well, first we've watched your videos and read all your books for a very long time. It just took us a while to actually kickstart and join your program. But I mean, the reason why we chose to join your program is because you could see the success from your YouTube channel. You always gave a lot of information freely. And that's also what we liked about you. And we've seen a few of your webinars and seminars as well. So there was a sense of trust. And that's why we decided to join your program, because we knew because we're going to learn the proper fundamentals of property investing. We're going to get a cash flow deal out of this. It's going to take a lot of hard work, but I mean, that's why we joined. And also, we want to escape the rat race as well. I mean, we love our jobs, but also we want that freedom and that time, being able to travel and enjoy life. So that's why we wanted to come to your program so you could teach us what to do and which areas to go into. And I think for me, guidance is key because, a lot of if I'm being honest, a lot of our parents doesn't know these kind of strategies. So I think getting the proper guidance and help from somebody like you that knows the area well, it's key. And that's why we joined your program, and it's been working for us quite well. Now we know what to do with the next property.
Move over to the juicy deal. Obviously, it's nice to talk about the emotional lifestyle that you guys are going to be going into. But what about this deal excited you?
The price was great, and we negotiated it down to 18. And then we actually negotiated it down to 205. So what excited us is that when we first went to Johannesburg, we were excited about that we got a discount. The seller was also willing to give us all the documents needed. So like giving us a rundown of the rundown of the property, just all the documents we need.
Those were the conditions on your OTP, right? The requests for proof of income, proof of expense.
Yeah. Proof of income, proof of expense, levies, rates and taxes. And, the reason why it excited us is because you don't get all these documents very easily from, the agent or the seller. It's quite hard to get it. I mean, we've come across quite a few deals where the agent or the seller doesn't want to give us this. So it was nice to actually be able to find a deal where the purchase price was right, and we could actually see all the documents. It made us feel a bit better that like we can see, okay, this is the rates and taxes, this is the levies, this is the rental, and we could actually see the tenants were paying on time. We could see the problems as well. So we got excited because everything started to flow with this. We got a discount finally. We were able to see the court as well. It's very family orientated. When we actually went physically to the property, there were a bit of hiccups where it needed a lot of renovation, but it wasn't in such a bad state where the walls were still in a decent condition. Flooring was still okay. There is a few touch-ups in the kitchen and the bathroom and with the electricals and so forth, but it wasn't too bad. There's a lot of courts where the body corporate is not really involved and you can't get those latest financials. It was quite difficult to get them before, but with this, we could see, okay, there's a decent caretaker, there's a decent body corporate, they are involved. We still want to try and find ways and means to be involved in the body corporate, but I mean, it was ticking all the boxes for us.
I was lucky enough to go and view the property with Darren and Carly a couple of weeks ago, and I took a quick video. So over to you guys, talk us through how the unit's layout is.
So it's a 1-bedroom. It's about 53 square meters. As you go into the bathroom, you'll see there's one bath, one toilet. needs a bit of work on the flooring. So basically the passage in the bathroom needs some new tiles. And as we go into the kitchen, you'll see the kitchen is quite a bit deteriorating. So we want to do new shelving, just basic decent shelving, and then fix up the zinc, the old taps that are rusted, give the doors a bit of a paint place, and actually align the cupboards as well because they slightly skew. So just those basic renovations we want to start doing in this unit.
Because
Yeah.
these are the pictures on the ad, where the pictures equal to what you saw.
Yeah, so I think that was a bit of a downfall, a disadvantage, because the pictures didn't align with what we saw in person. So as you can see, I think the pictures looks quite well, quite nicely done. But in person, we found that there were issues with the apartment than what we thought.
Yeah,
So,
this looks newly renovated, right? And then you see that video I just showed
Yeah.
you. It looks like two different properties. Yet this was the
Yeah.
ad
Yes.
that the agent was presenting, which is you can never trust the agent because they're always presenting the glossy brochure. They're never showing you the truth.
I think that was the reason why we actually requested some more images. We requested some images of the bathroom and the kitchen just to show us a bit more. And I think through that we found that more work needed to be done. We also found that there was a bit of mold in the kitchen cupboard, so that would need to be renovated.
Yeah, and this is maybe photos from 5 years ago. So you must
Yeah.
be very careful to trust an agent. Now, you did have my builder come in and give you guys a quote. This is kind of what his estimate was of 27,000. What did you guys have in your numbers out of interest before you had viewed the property?
Yeah, so when we saw the deal online, since it looks so great on images, on the pictures advertised, we thought it looks still great. Maybe some small touch-ups. So, I mean, we actually in our deal, when we're doing the numbers, we put away 6,000 at first for renovations. Well, we budgeted, we estimated 6,000 based on the pictures. But once we had an actual look at it, then we thought, no, there's some cracks. There's a lot of renovations needed here. And then when we got, one of your contacts to come in and come and check it out, there was much more work needed. And there was also things that we missed that they could pick up, like some cracks and leaks in the walls that needed to be done. And our renovations pushed up. So, I mean, that was a lesson learned from our side, never underestimate the renovation cost because it can be more once you view it in person. We're just happy also we found a trustworthy contact that you suggested for us. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
especially
that was
for
our
you
biggest learning
guys.
curve.
Yeah, especially for you guys being in Cape Town, not having the team. I think that value proposition of my coaching program, where you get access to my trusted and vetted professionals, is quite attractive. And
Yeah.
the nice thing about getting this kind of quote is you can go back to the agent or the seller and say, listen, this is way higher than what you had shown us on the thing. And then you can start to use that to negotiate a lower offer. Okay, now to the section that everybody is always interested in. Let's look at the numbers. So this is obviously not an emotional decision. This is not a lifestyle purchase, and you and Darren are not looking to move into this property. This is exclusively based on how much money and return you can get. So talk us through the numbers of this deal.
The rent is 4,200. Our expenses are 3,268. We made a profit of 931 rand. Gives us an ROI of 9%.
And that's cash on cash return, right? It obviously will increase over time as rental escalations go up. But I mean, this is what you wanted, right? You wanted a property that can wash its own face, that is profitable from day one and pays you instead of you paying in. And the reason why management is zero is that because you guys are self-managing.
Yes, that's correct.
It's a strategic decision. So you can learn how the project is managed. And then once you've got a bit of scale, 5 or so properties, then you can look at outsourcing because you've got economies of scale. So Darren and Carly, well done. You guys are a success story, which is great to see. What kind of lessons can you give to those who might be in the same position as you were a year ago, wanting to get into property but being scared to get started?
First lesson for me, for us, is basically to follow the numbers. So, under your guidance, you give specific formulas and numbers to go by. Follow the numbers, do your homework and find out the dates and taxes, utilities, all that kind of stuff. The rental, it really does help if you have all that information and you jotting it down into the formula that you have created for us as well.
Yeah, I think definitely, even if you're not looking to waste time and fast track your results, definitely invest in education, in your education, and in a coach as well. I think that will definitely fast track your results and also minimize risk.
Don't underestimate your renovation costs. Like us, we looked at the pictures, obviously, as you saw on the previous slides, we saw it looked great. We were under the impression like, hey, we don't need to actually do a lot of renovations here. But I think it's a big look. It's quite a big cost as a first-time investor. I'm not gonna lie, and I think it's something to note because you just never know, especially if you're not there in Johannesburg often and you are from Cape Town. It's good to always, like I say, go down there, check it out, see what kind of innovations you're looking at, because it might be more than what you put on your numbers formula, and it can mess up your numbers quite a bit if you don't have the proper stat on there.
The most important is don't fully trust your agent. Do definitely do the work yourself. Do as much due diligence as possible, because agents can say anything. At the end of the day, they want to make that sale. So definitely do as much due diligence as possible.
Guys, thank you so much for trusting me with your thank you for letting me be on your journey and for trusting in my process and in my program and for taking that leap of faith with me. And I'm so excited and I'm proud and I'm grateful that you've gotten the result. And I guess to close off this case study, what does the future hold? What are your ambitions for the next 5 years in property?
We know we've got such a long way to go in terms of property, and this is only the beginning. I mean, for us, we want to continue buying more units in Johannesburg, specifically because we can see the market works compared to Cape Town. And it was great to compare, the modern build compared to a build in Johannesburg. So for us, the future, I think it's looking quite bright. I mean, we've both got a mindset where we really focused, we're doing the necessary homework behind the scenes, and we're really eager to get the next property. I mean, I was actually telling Dad, and now we're looking to actually get a third purchase by December or January. We're hoping that's going to be possible. So we want to continue. I mean, we want to be on a great level and well established, also like yourself. So that's how it's looking. We just want to continue. Every year we're planning to do a property. And we just don't want to stop. That's for the next 5 years is going to be looking, grinding, pushing second side hustles and property all the way.
Yeah, I think hopefully in 5 years we would like to own our own multi-let.
And Darren, you need to also buy yourself an Aston Martin. Hey, you can't be James Bond 007 with the sunglasses and not have the car to go with it, right?
Definitely not. Yeah, the old car, you must. We need to save up towards that as well.
Fantastic. Well, I'm excited to watch you guys grow, and I'm sure that my community will keep tabs on you and keep shining bright. You guys are doing great.
No, thanks so much.
Thank you,
Lawrence.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Property investing can be scary, and sometimes it's nice to have an experienced, seasoned investor look over your deals. That's why I've created my property coaching program, where I sit with you on a one-to-one basis and help you through the process of buying your first investment property. If this sounds interesting, book a free 15-minute call with me and we'll see if it's the right fit.